What's up everybody, Coach Mills here coming at you with a brand new Valorant video, and today we're going to be breaking down the top 5 best agents of patch 1.09. As you know, there was quite a few changes in patch 1.09 to different agents, and of course the op change basically fundamentally changes the entire meta. So without further ado, let's break it all down. But the Game Leap website is your one-stop shop. If you want to master any of these agents, you want to go above and beyond and climb to Diamond, Immortal, and beyond, do yourself a favor and go check it out in the links down below. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, right off the bat, before we start, I do have to have an honorable mention, and the honorable mention on our list is none other than Phoenix. Now, Phoenix just missed out on this list because his rival pick, Breach, is definitively on it. But the thing about Breach is extremely powerful, but one of his best attributes was the fact that he really countered ops. Now, with a lot less ops going to be played, perhaps a lurker style of play is going to be the new norm again, and Phoenix plays right into that. So I could easily see a meta forming in pro play where Phoenix is picked over Breach, but for now, Breach's power level is just so damn high with 3 flashes, so he's gonna make the list, and Phoenix is just gonna be cut out of the top 5. Now, going back to the list, let's kick it off with number 5, and you know her, you love her, we got none other than RAZE. And you might be asking, why is RAZE all of a sudden one of the best agents in the entire game? Well, the thing about RAZE is RAZE was already pretty good on both Split and Bind. She was extremely good on Split, and she saw a decent amount of play on Bind too, because she could rotate really quickly. She could get a lot of value through teleporters by sending a lot of utility through the teleporters, and there was just a lot to love about RAZE as far as preventing different default plants or diffuses with really easy bounces of her paint shells. And of course, RAZE has always been very good on Split because every single one of her abilities allows to take space and check areas for free. It's very powerful, and I always suggest RAZE as a viable option on those 2 maps. But in a world with far less ops, and in a world where Jett's power level, who was directly tied to the operator, is hindered quite dramatically, especially with the nerfs that directly targeted her ultimate, RAZE is probably going to see a lot more play. Now, you don't need, especially on those maps that I listed, you're probably not going to be running a Jett at all, and RAZE is going to take that spot almost 100% of the time. Now, that being said, however, the big question mark is none other than Ascent. Ascent is a map that I could see actually going several different directions in the meta. That being said, however, RAZE is still going to be a vital member of any roster on specific maps, so for that reason, she is on our number 5 list, and expect her to see a lot of pro play going forward. Now, moving on to the 4th character on the best agents list is none other than Breach, who we recently just talked about. Now, Breach's power level is extremely high. I mean, everyone knows just how strong they made Breach. They buffed him in many different ways, and 3 flashes just seems like so many damn flashes. Now, when compared directly with Phoenix, there are pros and cons that we gotta talk about, and it's really gonna dictate what meta is played. You see, the thing about Breach is he's extremely good, of course, at clearing out sight. He's extremely good at playing with his team and getting follow-up, but Phoenix is far better at lurking and flanking and making solo different types of plays. Honestly, Breach's power level is immense, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if both Phoenix and Breach are played on the same team composition, because especially on the maps that you don't want to play RAZE, you're not playing a Jett, you're playing Phoenix, Breach, double info, and a controller. But the thing is, if we look at the meta before ops became absolutely dominant, Phoenix saw a ton of play as a lurker style, flashbacks to TSM drone lurking all the time. So Breach is definitely of a higher power level, but we're gonna have to wait and see exactly the intricacies between Phoenix and Breach going forward. But for now, Breach's power level is just so much above many other characters in the game. He needs and deserves a top 4 spot on this list. Now, moving on to character number 3 on this list, and this one is a character that has consistently been at the top of the meta and will most likely stay at the top of the meta. I mean, there's no reason for it to change at all, and it's none other than SOVA. Now, double info has been meta for quite some time, and SOVA is the other pair to this meta team composition. He sees an astronomically large amount of play, and even in an op-less world, SOVA is still going to be consistently the best thing that you can be doing. You see, what you need to understand is there's a reason that double info has moved to the meta, and it hasn't changed or strayed away from double info since the inception of this team composition, really. The thing about Valorant, especially at the highest level, is having multiple forms of information from across the map. Being able to relay information about rotations quicker, being able to set up engagements with the SOVA drone, being able to scout out enemies as they are hiding in certain cubbies with the recon dart. SOVA is just an extremely high-powered character, and we really get to see a lot of that when we watch some of the best SOVAs in the game. Specifically, players like Sinatra really show you just how much impact you could have on this agent. And I actually do think that SOVA might be one of the best agents to actually solo climb. So if you're looking for an insane character, something that gives you all the tools to make game plans, create opportunity, carry plays. Some characters, the amount of carry plays you can make on a round-to-round basis is not that big, but with SOVA, there are so many different decisions, so many different things you can learn, and so much you can carry. If you tap into a little bit of that, you're gonna be able to hard carry your team. So SOVA is absolutely fantastic for that. And as far as the pro pick rate and SOVA's place in the meta, SOVA is just one of the most essential characters in the entire game, and for now, he is going to remain on the top 5 agent list. There's just no moving him, but I'm going to talk about the entire meta as a whole after the final pick, so stick around until then. Now, moving on to agent number 2 for patch 1.09 is your favorite edgelord, none other than OMEN. Now, even in AWP meta, OMEN was seeing more and more play just because of how powerful people are realizing OMEN is. You see, the really powerful thing about OMEN as compared to Breach, and in a way that Breach can't match, is that OMEN can contribute to fights from across the map. Because he can smoke entry points, whether he's playing attack, he could be routing through mid and he can smoke entry points, or systematically leaving him in mid to cut off rotation while he still smokes his allies in. This allows him to do his job and help his team at the same time as doing other jobs and trying to make plays. On top of that, because of the regeneration of his smokes, he can afford to use smokes early, play in default as a team for a while, get his smokes back, and use more smokes again. This allows him to easily bait out more utility, and unlike Brimstone, who can't really afford to just burn smokes all over the place, OMEN gets that luxury. On top of that, you combine all that with an information gathering ultimate and the probably most powerful individual flash. Of course, he only gets one, but Paranoia is absolutely nutty power level wise. OMEN is just the de facto go-to smokes right now, and even in an AWP meta, he was becoming the de facto smoke user just because of how much more he could do than a Brimstone. Like, Brimstone can do some things, and Brimstone's still a very good pick, don't get me wrong. He's probably number 7. If we were doing a top 7, he'd probably be the 7th place. But the problem with Brimstone is when you start doing more and more and more, OMEN has a higher ceiling while still being able to do all the vital things that a controller can do, while Brimstone can do, of course, the vital things, but there's a limit to how much impact a good Brimstone can have. I also don't think we'll be seeing double smoke strategies, most likely not, with less ops being played, but OMEN is probably going to see even more play because in a scrappy, really frag-oriented lurker meta, Phoenix and OMEN both get a big leg up because they are probably 2 of the best lurkers in the game besides our number 1 pick, of course, which we are moving to right now. Number 1 pick, you know him, you love him, he's still the number 1, he's always going to be the number 1 until they nerf this guy because he's just way too damn powerful. It's CYPHER, man. You see, this Inspector Gadget wannabe is absolutely the most powerful character in the entire game. He's been the most powerful character, they still haven't nerfed him, and he has like 100% win rate in like every single tournament by every single respected team. They are playing CYPHER on every map 100% of the time, and there's a reason for it. Double info is the composition that we talked about before, and when you talk about the game of Valorant, we talked about how powerful having information across the map is, and CYPHER is just so powerful at stalling, gathering info, lurking. There's just so much that this guy can do to carry a team. A good CYPHER is the backbone of any composition, ranked match, pro game. He is the number 1 most essential character in the entire game. Not only does he prevent flanks, which is a huge thing, because when you have all these flankers and all these characters that could really make these powerful flanks, CYPHER keeps all of them in check, and that's why flanking doesn't happen as much, because good CYPHER players will put a trap on some angles, they will put, of course, a cam on others, and if any enemy try to lurk up or flank, CYPHER will catch them out, you'll make a joint play on them, and they'll just die, and that's the power level of CYPHER just on attack. attack. And then, of course, on defense, he can gather info from a side he's not even on. He can delay enemies. He can set up one-ways. CYPHER is just so powerful. And until we start to get more characters that can gather information in the same way that SOVA and CYPHER can, I just don't see any meta where we move away from double info. Double info is just more powerful than just about anything you could be doing, and as of right now, it just seems like the best thing that you'll possibly be doing in every single game, and CYPHER is the most important character out of CYPHER and SOVA, but of course, both of them are absolutely necessary. Now, this gives you a lot of different options. If you're trying to climb the ranked ladder, this competitive patch 1.09 before the next act coming soon, you have CYPHER in a Sentinel player, OMEN in a controller player, SOVA in an initiator player, or Breach, of course, but Breach plays a little bit differently than SOVA by quite a bit. And you have RAZE or Phoenix for a duelist. You have so many different options to choose from that are guaranteed to help you climb. So if you have any questions about all this, definitely let us know in the comments down below, or share some tips and tricks on your favorite character so the rest of the community can learn from your valuable insight. But of course, the Game Leap website is the place that's jam-packed, full of in-depth advanced VOD reviews over every single character, so you can see step-by-step exactly how high-level players are performing in their games and having tons of impact. But that's all we got for you today. Thanks so much for coming by. I'm Coach Mills, and of course, until next time.